I don't know what's so hard to understand about creation versus influences that came later. I had a discussion under this video with another guy. It's a fairly civil discussion. We still disagree at the end, but I don't. There's nothing to disagree about. I mean, this is fact. It's already well documented. It's just other people trying to latch onto it, and it's insulting. Uh, Trying to say and someone using an instrument is a influence. It's akin to a black person. But I think one of the comments was because they used the European guitar and Indian drums, which is the Indian drum is insignificant because they had drums in Africa, and the Africans brought their own beats and rhythms. That's very well documented over. Um, Saying that because if in fact they did use it, that has nothing to do with the creation of an entirely new art form. That's like saying if whoever invented the first pencil, uh, he gets credited for Leonardo for all his artwork because he invented the pencil. That's retarded. You can't. It has nothing to do with influences there. Using an instrument does not equate to that being an influence on and dictating how you create the music. Now, no one is saying that a black person invented the first turntable or the first electronic drum beat or anything like that. The thing is, the particular style, the essence of the music was created by black people. Who did the first scratching? A black person. Who black people have been doing rhyming poems for into slavery. Negro spirituals. It goes way back. So rhyming that clearly a African originated art form. Um, b-boying, the breakdancing thing. Black people were already dancing, doing all those moves. All those moves you see now, all of them are just offspins of what black people were already dancing like in the 30s, 40s, 50s, all the way up to the 80s. Everyone else just came in later and added their own stuff, and it's like any other music that black people make. Rock and roll, key example. I mean, they called it the nigger music. They literally called it that, and they didn't want their children listening to it, but their children started listening to it, and they're like, "Oh, this sounds good." And then everyone else decides to invite their way in because it sounds good. Same thing with blues music. Same thing with gospel, soul, and of course rap and hip hop. I think one of the users made a comment about black people creating rap. Yes, we did. It's well documented. It goes back to Negro spirituals, the call and response, those type of things. And they developed independently of other people because uniquely, unlike other places, we remain segregated in this country. So these art forms had time to develop amongst certain communities. So that's what you keep trying to say there's other influences. There are no other influences in there. It's a completely indigenous art form created by African people. Now, no one is saying that black people invented the European guitar or the first turntable or the first electronic instrument, whatever. But we're saying that they took those instruments and they created a unique art form. All of those art forms that, all the way up to when Cool Herc and all of them got together and made the first hip hop record, the first hip hop beat, the first sound, all that. Those were black people that made that. Just like whoever invented the first computer. Now you can say, Bill Gates added all this stuff onto the computer, which he did, and he did revolutionize it, but he does not get credit for inventing or creating the first computer just because he added on and made the GUI software to it. He doesn't get credit for making the first computer. It's the same thing with music. I'm trying to I don't understand what is so hard to understand about that, but the comments are interesting. It's interesting to see other people you know, latching on and making up these weird things to latch on. I mean, people like to say black people invented the stoplight over here, but it's actually the black man who did do it. He revolutionized it. He added something to it. But the stoplight invention itself was not invented by a black person. But you see what I'm saying? That type of logic allows you to latch on to anything. I could say as a black person, since black people were the first people to walk the earth, that every single thing invented comes from my people. But that would sound retarded, now wouldn't it? It's that same logic applied here. Hip hop, the creation of it, the essence of it, was created and invented by black people. Then everyone else came on and added their own little tidbits here and there to it. But the essence of it, and the essence is still there whenever you hear it in music. All the beats, the remixes, the breakdowns, the breakbeat, all that stuff. The essence is still there, and that's derived off of the original creators. They were black people slash Jamaican influences, but the Jamaican guy was black Jamaican guys. I mean, so that's my point that I'm trying to get across when I'm talking about other people trying to steal our culture. No one is trying to take anyone else's culture. Black people are not trying to latch on anyone else's culture. We're saying when it comes to hip hop, and I checked the wiki page, I edited, and I know wiki is bullcrap, but the problem is you have people who don't know a damn. They go in there and they look up stuff and they go, "Oh, we invented hip hop," and it's like, no, you did not. But if you have masses of people saying that, then it's gonna get written down again somewhere else, and someone else is gonna think this is true when it's not. Like the problem right now with the user I had the discussion with, thinking that hip hop was not just a creation from one group of people. It comes from Asians and white people and Latinos and Mexicans. Are you insane? I mean, no offense, that makes no historical sense at all. We know where it comes from and we know the essence of it. It's just like blues music. I mean, if we go off of that same logic, we can say that white people invented blues music. But any white person will tell you that's retarded. That's why when people start studying rock and everything, they go back to blues music. What do they go try to find? They try to find the last living people of that era when blues music came out, because they're old now. And those last living people are black people. It's the same thing with hip hop. Just because Eminem is one of the most popular rappers out there right now, he's not the best rapper alive. That's another video in itself. He's the most popular rapper out there right now, does not mean that white people help create hip hop. Okay, it's a unique art style and art form that African Americans slash some Jamaican influence helped create. And to understand the Jamaican influences, you have to understand dub music. I mean, with this logic, you're gonna say what reggae music? The black Jamaicans didn't create reggae music and ska, which is the original precursor to reggae music. Are you gonna say Jamaicans didn't create reggae music? Sure, they didn't invent the instruments, but they created their own unique sound and unique art form. If that is hard to understand, I don't know what else to say. I mean, what school are all these people going to when they start claiming things? But anyway, this is just a follow-up vid because I see a lot of different comments from outside people, and I want to make it really clear what I'm trying to say. So anyway, feel free to add more comments to it, and I'm very ready to discuss this issue and many others.